Yo, it's me. It's the SCOTT. Okay, so this is out of the blue. Because, well, it is. I just decided to do this. So, you know R.L. Stine. Who doesn't? He came up with Goosebumps, and The Nightmare Room, and Fear Street, and The Haunting Hour, and there were TV shows based on that stuff. And there were the TV shows, we had Goosebumps, The Haunting Hour, The Nightmare Room. Why we never got a Fear Street TV series, I'll never know, because I enjoyed some of those books, and they were a little bit darker than the actual Goosebump books, and that's why I liked them. But, back in 2012-ish, they came out with a Haunting Hour TV series. Nightmare Room we'll talk about in a different video. A Haunting Hour TV series that was on what was originally called The Hub, and later Discovery Family, which is what it's called now. And it, much like Goosebumps, Nightmare Room, and Are You Afraid of the Dark, it was a Canadian show, and it was I don't know about the Nightmare Room, but it was a Canadian show, and it was an anthology series. I'm not going to talk about every episode, just the episodes that stand out. Now, back when they started releasing these on DVD, I rented a couple volumes from the library. And what I saw on those DVDs were pretty cool. And I was surprised at how dark these episodes are. See, Goosebumps, while somewhat dark, overall had it somewhat decent endings, somewhat good, lighthearted endings to them. And The Nightmare Room had some of the darkest endings in the TV show, even though it only lasted 13 episodes. Now, I will be going over each episode of The Nightmare Room because only 13 episodes. However, the two-part finale, if you call it, Camp Nowhere, I can't find nowhere. Ironically enough. So only the first 11 episodes first 11 episodes I will be reviewing eventually with the with this series, the Haunting Hour. It'll only be the episodes I feel like really catch my eye. Now, there were 3 episodes before this one. This is episode 3 technically, because the first episode was 2 parts. It was about a living doll, the one to come after Bailey Madison. Not Billy Madison, thank you, Daddy, but Bailey Madison, the actress, and it was the character in that episode. Second episode is worthy of talking about. For some reason, I can't remember it. What was it? Oh, it was a Christmas episode, which was interesting, and I may come back around to that one and talk about it, but I want to talk about this one. And it's kind of a double episode review, because we'll get to why there's 2 episodes in different seasons of this, but it's called The Dead Body, and it's based on a short story. Now, the original short story had the character of Will being bullied by these guys, and his uncle, named Jake Skinner, comes to help him. Now, where they come across the dead body, which is in the middle of this episode, is actually the climax of the story. And in that story, the bullies find the body, they get freaked out, but it's revealed to Will that his uncle, Jake Skinner, has actually been dead for years. And he's been talking to a ghost this entire time. This episode is different. There's still Will, there's still bullying, and it's a little more school-based. So, the story begins with Will being bullied, of course, and he hates it, and he runs, and he hates being bullied. One day after school, he's walking home in his dark alley for some reason, and he gets jumped by the bullies. They try to scare him, and then a strange kid named Jake Skinner, who dresses like he is from the 50s or 60s, wearing a white t-shirt, leather jacket, and blue jeans with slick back hair, says he can help him because he hates bullies as well. Will doesn't know this guy, so he says no, but Jake apparently says he's new. Who knows? The next day, Will finally gets the courage up to ask his crush to the dance, but the bullies show up and make his pants wet, to make it seem like he peed himself. Now, even though the girl sees this happen, she blows him off, saying, "Oh, you better take care of that." Now, I just want to put this over. She's not a villain or antagonist. She's actually one of the good guys, good people in this episode. We then go, Jake shows up again and says, "You know, you need my help, I will help you. I just asked for a favor." And Will says, "Okay, do it." And so next we go to a school trip where Will and Will once again tries to ask his crush Anna out on a date for the dance. And the bullies show up again, and they find a dead body in the bushes. And like I said, this is where the climax of the short story was. They find the dead body, they get scared, they run away, and then Will eventually learns that his uncle was dead. But in this episode, it's not his uncle. No siree. It's just a strange kid. Now, so they find a dead body, so the crush goes to find the teacher. Let me repeat that. She leaves Will with the bullies who have been torturing him since the beginning of this episode, and probably before this episode even started, to go get the teacher. She leaves him alone. And of course, as soon as she leaves, the bullies try to force him to touch the dead body. Jake then pops out and scares them. They run away, and Will is happy, saying, "We got him." But Jake says, "Oh, I'm not done yet. We need to go a little further. Do you agree?" And he does, and then they shake hands, and that's where the deal is finally made, that he will give him a favor once this is all done. Anna shows back up again, and he says it was all a joke. He and his new friend Jake, they pulled the prank on the bullies. It's fine. Even though she doesn't come back with the teacher, but okay. And then he finally asks her to the dance, which she says yes. Well, it's like yeah. She says yes, and then they hear screaming. Now we see that Invisible Jake is attacking one of the bullies, the lead bully, and they find him all freaked out, and he's sent home, and he never comes back to school again. So that's one bully taken care of, and Jake says he's not done. Now, Anna is considerably freaked by this, quite considerably so. That, Will tries to tell her, "Hey, I just, made a deal with my new friend Jake Skinner," which the janitor overhears. And as Will goes to walk away, the janitor stops him and says, "You can't know Jake Skinner. Jake Skinner died in 1961. To which Will's kind of like, "What?" And he goes to the trophy case and he finds a memorial plaque. It's a little one in the trophy case for Jake Skinner. We'll come back to that. So that night, Will goes to talk to the janitor, because it's also the night of the dance, which is why he's not even dressed up. But anyway, he talks to the janitor, and the janitor tells the story. A group of bullies chased Jake into the basement area, into a little cage, and locked him in there. They proceeded to throw firecrackers in to scare him, but one of the firecrackers actually caused a fire, and Jake died in the fire. So this is where Will realizes he's been talking to a ghost the entire time. Meanwhile, Jake is taking care of the other bully by apparently killing him. Yep, because the last thing we see is Jake's mouth morphing into something else, lunging at the bully, and then we hear a scream and a howl. He killed the guy. Yep. Will goes to investigate and ends up in 1961 and comes to Jake's aid. Jake comes in, Will comes in, he breaks open the thing as Jake falls to the floor because of the smoke. Will runs in, and Jake's standing outside, kind of like this. And Will's like, "I saved you. Are we even?" And he just kind of looks at him. "Are we even?" To which Jake does, which is what he's been doing with the entire episode. his little calling card thing. And then a big shelf that's on fire falls on him, and he wakes up back in the regular time. And he's like, "Oh crap, the dance!" So he runs out. He gets ready to go. He goes into the dance dressed in his regular clothes, and he tries to talk to Anna, who appears to be ignoring him. However, she then runs into Jake. She's like, "Oh, there is a Jake," and they go to dance. Before they can go to dance, Will tries to stop him, and he finds out he's a ghost. Yes, if you haven't caught on, the favor was that Will save Jake by taking his place. Now, I have a little bit of a problem with this because Jake, up until the point of when this little twist happens, has been somewhat of a good guy. Yes, he scared the crap out of someone, possibly killed another one, but he's been on Will's side. I also forgot to mention in the short story, Travis, the bully, was actually a fake friend of his, and they took the character of Jake and made him that fake friend, but also the ghost. You know what I mean? And so Jake's trying to be a friend to Will. He used Will because he saw that Will was just like he was, timid and couldn't stand up to anyone, so he used that to his advantage to swap. My problem with that is, if Jake was exactly the same as Will, timid, afraid of bullies, always tortured, why is he all of a sudden Mr. Badass and Mr. Evil? How did he cook up this scheme? Where did it come from? How was he always evil? Now you say vengeful spirit, sure, but it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, the episode ends with Will watching Jake and his crush, Anna, dancing, to which Jake goes, "Now we're even." And that's how it ends. And apparently, fans of the show, and parents, whatever, thought this ending was so dark that they wrote to the staff of the Haunting Hour and asked for a second part with a better ending. And they gave us one a couple years later with Dead Bodies. How original. In this episode, it starts with Jake, apparently right after the dance, breaking into the trophy case to grab the plaque. Which, I said I was going to come back to this. There's a plaque with Jake's name in that trophy case. How did no one know about Jake Skinner except for the janitor? And one thing we got to mention is when Will mentions Jake Skinner to Anna, she says, no kid named Jake goes to school here. Hello? You telling me all the kids in that school, there's not one of them named Jake? I think it would have been better if it was, the line read, "No student named Jake Skinner goes here." But then again, if the janitor knew, and there's a goddamn plaque in the trophy case, then why didn't anyone else know about it? I'm just saying. Facts. Anyway, he breaks in, he steals the plaque, then we flash to 3 months later. Now, there are some continuity problems. Will's hair was... Now, it's obvious this episode came out a year or two later. And it's obvious by this point that the actor who played Will has gone through puberty. His hair is shorter, his voice is a little bit deeper, and he doesn't look as awkward. Problem is, he's supposed to be a ghost, which means he wouldn't age. And they didn't even try. One, I don't even know if he's wearing the same outfit he did at the end. Two, his hair's not scraggly, it's like it's cut, which makes no sense. They could have thrown in a line and said, "Oh, I found a way to change my appearance," or "Being dead has affected me that I think I went through puberty too fast. Within 3 months, I went through all my puberty." Who knows? They didn't. Instead, we're presented to Will trying to get Anna to talk to him. trying to make contact with her. Meanwhile, Jake and Anna are dating, and everyone seems to know who Jake is. But you think, like, when someone named Jake Skinner, who looks just like the Jake Skinner that supposedly died, shows up, and no one, not even the janitor who's supposed to know who he is, says anything about this? We don't even see the janitor in this one, by the way. No, thank you. No way. No, sir. Another problem I have is that if Will went back in time and saved Jake and it changed things, why isn't Jake, like, old now? If Jake never died, he would be a full-fledged adult. Like 50 years old, maybe 60 years old. He wouldn't be the same age he was when he died. And so they say that Will just disappeared. But yet in the yearbook, in her yearbook, Anna's yearbook, there's an in memoriam for him. That, missing from life, but not missing in our hearts, or something like that. Why is there a memoriam for him? For someone that went missing? This kid was a nobody in the first one. Picked on by bullies that even if they did it in front of other people, wouldn't step in. And that there was a memoriam for this kid. He was nothing against, the kid. I was a nobody in high school, man. I don't think anyone would have had a memoriam for me. Especially since I don't even know if he's dead. If they found a dead body. Oh. A dead body. But, it's confusing. It's just confusing. But. Anyways, any rate. So, Jake apparently doesn't go to the high school. Even though he's supposedly a new kid. He's waiting outside for Anna. But he doesn't go to high school and he lives in some warehouse because he wouldn't exist. See, that's what time travel is weird in this. He would be a teenager. That's what confuses me. Is he wouldn't be this same age. He would be a full-fledged adult, 50, 60 years old. Guaranteed. But no, because they need to have it official, he wouldn't be. Now, Jake starts to realize there's a time wraith or something coming for him. The Grim Reaper is coming for him. And it grabs his arm, which starts to affect him. Meanwhile, Will is still trying to get Anna to notice him, so he shows up in her bedroom. Okay. Creepy. Ghost or not, he's in a girl's bedroom and she doesn't know he's there. What if she started to change into pajamas or something? What would he do? Do you think he would leave? Or this being the girl he had a crush on for who knows how long, when he tried to sneak peek at a little something? Who knows? Who knows? But it's still creepy. So anyway, Jake realizes that now they try to present that Anna, upon dating Jake, has become a little less responsible with her studies. As she's supposed to study for the SATs, even though I thought they were freshmen in the first episode, but anyway, studying for her SATs. They had to have been freshmen because Will clearly hadn't gone through puberty yet. Not all the way. So how was she a senior 3 months later? I don't understand this. I really don't understand this. And now she could be older, but it wouldn't make sense. I don't know. But anyway, by the way, Will had a friend for like 5 seconds in the first one who wanted to play Halo. We never see him again. I don't know. So, Jake picks Anna up and takes her to some secluded forest, the forest from the first film, and tries to convince her to shake his hand and make a deal with him so he could take her life. But Will, who has been fading away through almost the entire episode, decides he finally knows because, Will said, or Jake said, his reason to stay was so that he can come back to life and do the bully stuff, take care of the bullies for Will, and he can come back to life. Here, Will finds a reason to stay because he keeps fading out, and that's to save Anna. And he does, and the Grim Reaper shows up and takes Jake away in one of the most gruesome death scenes in this show, I think. And then, God or some weird white spirit shows up, and Will thinks it's time for him to go, but it turns out they're just bringing him back to life because of what he did. And then, I guess Anna drives Jake's car home because the keys are just in the car. I don't know, but if Jake no longer exists, then he shouldn't have his car should disappear. I don't know. But as they drive away, Jake's hand pops out, which could be a trick to carry, I don't know, and grabs his comb they left behind because we're seeing him combing his hair from time to time. And that's it. Happy ending. You got what you wanted. Now, on one hand, the continuation, people want a happy ending. You got a happy ending. You got your, the main character is now, he's got a girlfriend now and everything's going to be hunky-dory. But on the other hand, there are some episodes of these shows where a dark ending sometimes work. And I think if they didn't do this second part, I think it would have been fine. It's a dark ending. When I first watched that episode, it got me. I was like, oh shit. Wow. Because I thought it was a nice twist. And then, as I was scrolling through Wikipedia one day, I found out there was a second part. And, by the way, I've been watching these on YouTube. They have it because I can't find any episodes anywhere else. I don't know if they're all on YouTube, but there's some on YouTube. And I found this and the sequel one on there, as well as the first two-part episode and the Christmas one that came afterwards. But I'm just saying, the second episode is good. Don't get me wrong, but it lacked a lot of the craziness of the first episode. You know what I mean? This one, it's just first episode had the craziness of scaring the bullies and stuff like that, and this episode is just Will as a ghost trying to make contact with Anna. And there is one episode where he yells her name, and she acts as if she heard him, but it doesn't go any further. He doesn't try to make contact with her again like that or anything. It's just forgotten. Now, like I said, second episode, it's okay. It's good. It's fine. People who complained, they got what they wanted. But had they just done it with that first episode, I think I would have been fine. Both episodes together, it's a fun two-parter. It's okay. Not bad. But the first part alone, because it really got me when I first watched it, was actually pretty good. One of the better episodes of this show. But, yeah, two-parter as it stands, it's decent. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on this Haunting Hour two-part? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one. Ow!